Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod at large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod. She's my hot rod.
Now, we got to talk about something. Oh, by the way, with this weather, get out to the Blue Top. You got, matter of fact, you should get out and see all our sponsors. The Van Buskirk and Krisky, the Hot Rod Dentist, man. What a high-speed, high-tech, big-time dentistry, and all done by cool guys that are really nifty. They are car guys. They really enjoy themselves. Bumper to Bumper, Auto Value /. That's who owns them now, and they're doing a fantastic job over there on Kennedy Avenue in Hammond. It's really a really good store, and you can get in there and get anything you need. And those are the guys that know they are real parts people. They're not a big box store. These are real parts people. They can fix you up. Region Rise Magazine, yours truly got an article in there again this month. It's really good. Region Rise has got all the stuff you need to know. Everything you need to know, for sure. Not a problem. All right. What we're going to talk about here is something that's been popping up in my shop. And I have a busy shop. I run quite a few cars a day through there and in a week. And we have a lot of different things that we see. But one of the things that is starting to recur now is the people that don't change their oil enough on the newer cars, that are using their old way of changing oil or following the manufacturer's guidelines, are popping up with serious engine troubles. All right, here's what we're talking about. Your car, new to down as old as 5 or 6 years old, they have a thing called variable cam timing. It's meant for performance. It's meant for fuel economy. And fuel economy is still even important even now on the eve of electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are 5 to 10 years away from being a serious consideration. So you're going to have gasoline around for quite a while. It's not going away. Which also, well, it rolls into the fuel cell and other fuels. Natural gas, propane, the hybrids, all that stuff is still in research. Why? Because I don't know that they totally rely on electric vehicles. And I think ecologists are saying it's not really a clean fuel because it's produced by fossil fuel plants. So that's not really a clean fuel. You're not EPA approved in your electric car completely, not 100%. You're much better than the gasoline engine, trust me. The electric vehicles are still really in the infant stages. And what about the rapid development of autonomous driving and the technology of artificial intelligence? Well, autonomous driving and artificial intelligence will work with any fuel car. Doesn't have to be electric. It can be a hydrogen car. It can be a gasoline-powered car. It can work with all of them, trust me. So it's not that we're going to lose any technology. We're not taking steps backwards. But here's what's happening with these. It's crazy. I'm going to define timing in a simple way for you. Timing is critical since the internal combustion engine was made. It's for power and smoothness of operation, of course, fuel economy and all the other good stuff. It keeps the pistons and the valves from hitting each other. They're timed perfectly. One comes up, one goes down. One comes up, one goes down. And that has to do, on a 4-cylinder, it has to do it 4 times. On an 8-cylinder, it has to do it 8 times. And it's milliseconds. I mean, your engine is doing 3,000 revs a minute, RPMs. That means that 3,000 times those things go up and down. So think how fast this computer has to be. Constant variable timing is very important to precision fuel control and, of course, hence fuel economy, which is why they do it, okay? What they don't, the variable cam timing is controlled with electronic solenoids, but they are also part of the engine's valve train, and they are mechanical. They work with the computer, and they control fuel and spark control to monitors valve opening and closing. It's just footsteps away. I'll tell you what, we are only footsteps away from not having a timing chain in the car by doing everything electronically. The engine will turn itself over. I mean, it'll crank over and it'll fire, and the pistons will go up and down, and the valves and everything will open with electronic solenoids. There'll be no more timing chain. That's just another mechanical part that requires a lot of lubrication that can fail. Well, you watch, it'll change the way we look at internal combustion forever, because the timing chain has always been there. Since the day they built the first engine, they had to coordinate the top and the bottom of the motor, and that's the way they did it with a timing chain. They put the balancers and all kinds of stuff on them to make them smooth, and all kinds of that. But that has nothing to do with the coordination between and the burning of the fuel. And you want to what they call precise fuel combustion burning. Everything that goes in that cylinder gets burned and used, every bit of energy. That way you can take and put less fuel. Okay? There again, fuel economy. The problem is these VCT, or variable cam timing solenoids, because they are a moving part of the engine, they need oil to lubricate them. They're a part of the oiling system, just like any other part of the motor. The lifters and the push rods and all that other stuff gets oiled. So does the variable cam timing. The problem is, manufacturers have recommended long oil changes, long time periods between oil changes. I've seen them 5, 7, 8,000 miles. My God, you've even got an oil company out there bragging they have an oil you can change once a year. Well, guess what? That was before this came around. These variable cam timing solenoids, like a lot of the things on the engine, have very small oil ports, little tiny oil ports, the size of a toothpick or maybe bigger. And they feed the mechanical part of this timing solenoid to keep it lubricated and keep everybody happy and everything going. Well, guess what? The oil passages are so small that a little bit of dirty oil, a little speck of dirt can get caught in there, a little speck of carbon, whatever you want in there. The oil ports are too small. Matter of fact, when Jasper Engines rebuilds these, they make bigger ports in those things for a higher volume oil pump to keep those cam timing solenoids, which are very important to keeping your car running. And not cheap, by the way. We're going to get to that, but they're not cheap. The dirt breakdown, the loss of lubricating ability, this is the upshot. Very costly repairs. The warranty, of course, it's usually after the warranty expires. Valve work and complete engines, timing chain replacement. The possibilities are unending. And the price just keeps going up and up and up. I'm worried that nobody's changing their oil like they should. All right? I'm going to go out on a limb later and stick my neck out and give you some intervals that I think you should use. If you want to keep your car running right, and I don't care what brand it is, okay? If it has variable cam timing, those things were not engineered to take the abuse of someone that is 2,000 miles over on their oil change. Okay? I get people in all the time say, I'm a little over. Well, you're 3,000 miles over. That's not a little. Okay? Your oil comes out, it's like dirt. It's like mud. Well, guess where all that stuff is clogged? It's clogged in your variable cam timing solenoid, amongst other places in your motor doing damage. But if that solenoid, if it can't work, if it can't operate, it's going to start making a lot of noise, and your engine's going to start making a lot of noise, and it's going to start missing, running bad, chugging. You're not going to have any acceleration, and you're going to wonder why. Well, because there's no oil getting through there and down to the timing chain, so the timing chain now is wearing out. The adjusters, all the balancers, everything is wearing out in front of that motor because dirty oil. You can't have dirty oil anymore. You can't risk that. Okay, you can't, because you're looking at risking a $6,000 or $8,000 engine. Oh yeah, on a car that you might still owe money on. It might be new enough. You're probably just barely out of warranty, and the manufacturers won't do anything for you. I'm going to tell you a story. One of the manufacturers, and I'm not naming any names, but one of the big guys, the big manufacturers, one of those guys issued a recall on their computer so that they could you would get in there and they could update their computer to warn you to change your oil sooner. It was set for 7,500 miles. Now it's set for 5,000 miles. And that was all they called it in for because they knew there was a problem. And they wanted to make sure that none of those motors blew up while they were still in warranty. Okay, 36,000 miles. Well, now it's you have to pay for it. And now they'd love to see you. Okay? Timing chains on those cars. Impossible. Virtually impossible for anybody but a dealer to do because it requires special tools particular to that car. Okay? To do it correctly and to do it precisely. And that's the way, in my place, that's the only way we do things, okay? And what can you as an owner do? Well, you can revise your oil change routine. I'm going to stick my neck out right now and tell you, 3,500 miles is more than enough. More than enough. And always, always change the filter. Don't just change the oil. Change the filter. You can't have dirt and grime in your engine. You can't have carbon buildup. I'm telling you, if it starts missing and you get check engine light and it starts blinking, oh my God. Okay? Don't wait for the reminders anymore. Don't wait for the lights to come on or the percentages. Oh, I got 30% left. No, you don't. You got garbage in your crankcase. You got gunk. You got filth, dirt, little pieces of dirt. They're gonna clog up your engine. The passages are not big enough for the kind of carbon buildup in these engines today. We're talking about oil changes. Sounds simple, right? Let me just tell you that it's taken on a whole new set of consequences now. Not changing your oil often enough or soon enough. You need to, I can't tell you how much, and I can't tell you how much this means, but we'll get further along. I told you, revise your oil change routine, 3,500 miles at most. If you have one of these cars with variable cam timing, don't go without changing the filter and change it more often. Don't wait for the reminders, the lights, and all the hoopla. Go to full synthetic if you want. That's not a problem. Now, the synthetic blends are just fine. But go to full synthetic if you feel that you want to do something better for your engine. It'll be better for it. I used to never advocate that. Now I do. You have your oil checked regularly and check for leaks. Have a tech evaluate that oil. I can take and pull your dipstick and run my fingers like this and on the oil, and I can tell you if it needs to be changed. I can smell it and tell you if it needs to be changed. And don't ever run low on oil. If it's down a quart, put a quart in it. You gotta. You can't. I know people that, I'm down a half a quart or a quart. I'm not going to bother. You know what? If it's down over half a quart, put a quart in it. A little bit over is a whole lot better than a little bit under, okay? It just is. You can't run them low on oil. All these new timing systems need oil. They need oil flow. They need oil pressure. And, whatever you do, don't ignore a check engine light. You know, a lot of times the owner's manual says, it's just a gas cap or something. But if that's the case, that's not always the case, and it really isn't. Especially if that light is blinking. If that light is blinking, you get to a repair center and get it fixed. That's the blinking light means there's an engine miss and a problem due to something, spark plugs, valves, whatever, and it could be related to this timing. You know, I've got some thoughts on this I think I want to share with you. And I'm going to stop short of getting myself in trouble with the big time car makers. Some of the big car makers and a couple of the small ones have actually raised they have what they call a customer satisfaction campaign, where they won't send you a letter and tell you, but they will extend your engine warranty because of this problem. They know that there's not enough oil getting to that variable cam timing solenoid, and they know it. And they're going to raise the warranty a little bit, but to fix it, they're not going to make it any better. They're just going to put a Band-Aid on it because they don't have a fix. Now, when you end up blowing up your motor and get a Jasper, you're going to have a remanufactured one with all the bugs taken out of it, and one of the bugs is making the passages bigger, which is easy to do. They can do it. The other thing is, of course, they're going to have the engine all apart. It's only easy when it's apart. They also put a higher volume oil pump in it to make sure that this doesn't happen again. There's a couple of these motors that Jasper won't rebuild. And I cringe every time I see somebody come in and, oh, I got to check engine light on and I'm due for an oil change. Well, you're 1,000 miles over, your engine's rattling like a tin can. Your valve timing is shot. Well, the very nicest thing that can happen to you is we have to put a couple $200, $300 worth of solenoids on it and get away with that. But if the oil is filthy dirty, it's just going to clog up again and it's going to break again. You got to change the oil and you got to change the filter and you got to be religious about it. You bought this car because you liked it. They didn't bother to tell you any of this. The salesmen don't know any of this anyway. They wouldn't have told you. These are design flaws. Have they been corrected? Well, I don't know. I think maybe they have on the newest ones. But how many years did this go on? 5, 6, 7 years back? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, as long as they've had the VCT engine or variable cam timing. Oh, boy, this is a problem. You got it. The oil change intervals, they put them on there, and now they shortened a couple of them. A couple different manufacturers have called them in and redone the computers, so you don't go to 7,500 miles. You go to 5. They don't want that thing blowing up when it's under warranty, okay? After that, I don't know that they care. These major repairs require many vehicle-specific tools that only the dealer has. So they know if you're going to repair that car, you're going to go back to them. That's kind of what they're wanting, okay? A young lady in the other day with a Fusion had this problem. That one of the car companies, they all have it. It's not necessarily just Ford. And she junked the car. She got rid of it. She couldn't afford to put an engine in it, and it was done. The motor was toast because of these variable valve cam. And she said, well, I have to junk the car and take my losses. Sad. Just sad. There's no recalls on this. You know why? Because it's not a safety issue. The NHTSA will not make you fix anything that's not safety related. They won't make the manufacturer fix.